At the Shen family's courtyard, the battle for the patriarch position for the Shen's family had finally reached the finals. Shen Tianhu stood opposite to Shen Hanhai and Shen Haohai. The obstacle for the way to succeed for the position of the patriarch for Shen Tianhu was for Shen Tianhu to defeat both of them, the two brothers. Then the position of patriarch shall belong to Shen Tianhu. Shen Tianhu, with enthusiastic spirit, asked if they would both fight together against him at the same time or one at a time. Shen Haohai, with gleaming eyes, stepped forward, saying in order to win the conviction of others, he alone would first face him. Shen Tianhu, with glowing eyes like the beast and his aura, emitting dark electrical waves around his body, transformed his qi to Thunder Tiger. Shen Haohai admired Shen Tianhu beast transformation skills. Then he also proceeded to transform into an angry wolf. Both fighters respected each other's strength. The crowd watching the competition was in frenzy, marveling at the beast transformation of the 8th level of mortal martial realm, claiming it as an iconic technique, which uses true qi to change one's own state and even uses the special power contained in birds, beasts, or weapon. Both fighters clashed, fists, and using their beast power, while complementing each other's strength and technique. The fighting area was engulfed in qi and smokes, a result of fierce attacks. Their exchange of words seemed like a friendly spar. The crowds, on the other hand, were terrified. Due to the effects, debris of rock and soil flew from one place to another. The fight lasted for more than an hour. Shen Haohai finally lay on the ground, exhausted and defeated. Shen Tianhu, standing above him, executed the final move with Thunder Tiger Absolute Formation, striking Shen Haohai and leaving him immobilized and bloodied. Shen Tianhu then asked Shen Haohai to submit. Shen Haohai did not resist and gave in to surrender. He also cautioned him that, though he may have won this round, Shen Tianhu himself didn't gain much advantage either. Shen Tianhu gestured in approval, placed his left hand on his injured stomach, violently spurting out blood. Shen Hanhai stood beside the injured Shen Tianhu, advised him to surrender, as he had already sustained heavy injuries. Shen Tianhu, kneeling, after vomiting blood, refused to surrender. He knew he had to win the seat of patriarch. Despite his injury, he had his son's hope. Someone from behind walked towards Shen Tianhu, placed his hand on Shen Tianhu's shoulder. Shen Xiang appeared at the right time, and as the substitute for his father, he took his place. Shen Xiang complimented his father on his fight, saying that he looked quite handsome and he watched his fight. As soon as he finished his cultivation, Shen Tianhu answered back, saying that there was no doubt about his handsomeness, it was just the age had made him little old. Shen Tianhu was helped by two persons to get off the fighting arena, as his son assured him to leave the rest to him and replaced him. Shen Xiang, on the arena, requested the elders to fight in his father's stead. Shen Hanhai reminded Shen Xiang, addressing him as nephew, that the fight for the succession of patriarch position was a life-and-death fight, asking him if he had really thought about fighting in his father's place. The protagonist affirmed positively. Shen Hanhai, undermining the protagonist's strength and to show off his good-natured side, asked the protagonist that he would allow him to make a first free move, also advising the protagonist to put in all his strength. The protagonist, unwavering, answered back that he would not hold back. With a fierce leap, lunged forward to attack. The protagonist, after a week of cultivation, had entered a 5th level of mortal martial realm. He was curious regarding its effects against the 7th level of mortal martial realm, who also was his opponent, uncle. Shen Hanhai, retracting, felt the protagonist's qi was weird, as the protagonist approached him like a raging storm. The protagonist launched a storm-killing fist, which was blocked by Shen Hanhai. The impact sent waves. The scene made the elder wondered if it was the same Shen Xiang from before. One onlooker claimed that the attack has the power of 6th level of mortal martial realm. Huge smoke and dust rose. The protagonist wondered whether his attack had worked. As the smoke cleared, a shield, a size of human body, made of ice was seen, and behind it, Shen Xiang spoke up, complimenting the protagonist for his ability to use chi attack, despite being in the 5th level of mortal martial realm, confessing that he had underestimated him. The protagonist examined that there was no visible effect. He had concentrated his full power of Azure Dragon True Chi on his strike. Shen Xiang then transformed into a beast with wings of ice on his back. His legs morphed into bird's legs, fingernails long, icy and sharp. Also a spike grew on both his arms. Shen Xiang admitted this was his first time fighting in his beast transformation form. Shen Xiang was surprised, as the beast transformation was the ability that was only available at the 8th level of mortal martial realms. Shen Xiang proudly clarified that he had already completed the 7th level of mortal martial realm and was only waiting for a breakthrough, while mastering some initial of the beast transformation skills. Shen Xiang loudly proclaiming that the protagonist will definitely lose this competition, and, through a barrage of ice attack at the protagonist, Shen Xiang jumped high in the air, avoiding the barrage of ice attacks, and sneaked near Shen Xiang and with the Azure Dragon Fist attacked. Shen Xiang noticed that there was still no effects. Shen Xiang then ran away from Shen Xiang to gain some distance. Shen Xiang flew in the air, appearing before Shen Xiang, and kicked him, crashing him against some crowd spectating the fight. As Shen Xiang lay on top the bodies of the crowd, Shen Xiang said if Shen Xiang had at least 10 more years he might have faced defeat, but it was just today that he had to win for the patriarchal position. With 100 Fisher Glacier Stomp attacked Shen Xiang, the protagonist knew that his Azure Dragon True Chi was not able to hurt him even a single bit, and also making the situation worse, his chi was running out. Shen Xiang, claiming that he would crash the protagonist like an egg against the rock, proceeded to attack him with his hand, directing his chi against Shen Xiang. The impact of the attack produced a large smoke, making Shen Xiang's body invisible. Shen Xiang, inside the cloud of smoke, laughed maniacally, surprising Shen Xiang, who admitted that the protagonist's progress was indeed beyond everyone's expectation, but he doesn't have to be reckless if he met someone he couldn't beat. The protagonist followed up saying that he had thought he could not beat him too, but now he had found a way, and even if there was a slim chance he would try.